Good morning, grade 9. It's Tuesday and we are having a civics class, 28th of July. Learning outcomes of today's class will be you all would be able to identify who designs the constitution and how, and you all will be able to analyze the values that shape the constitutions in democratic states. Who then were the makers of the Indian Constitution? You will find here a very brief sketch of some of the leaders who played an important role in making the Constitution. The drafting of the Constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives called the Constituent Assembly, keeping the following points in mind: universal adult franchise, right to freedom and equality, and to protecting the rights of minorities. The assembly was dominated by the Indian National Congress, the party that led India's freedom struggle. But the Congress itself included a variety of political groups and opinions. The assembly had many members who did not agree with the Congress. In social terms too, the assembly represented members from different language, groups, caste, classes, religions, and occupations. Even if the Constituent Assembly was elected by universal adult franchise, its composition would not have been very different. The drafting of the document called the Constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives called the Constituent Assembly. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. Its first meeting was held in December 1946. Soon after, the country was divided into India and Pakistan. The Constituent Assembly was also divided into the Constituent Assembly of India and that of Pakistan. The Constituent Assembly that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26th November 1949, but it came into effect on 26 January 1950. To mark this day, we celebrate January 26th as Republic Day every year. We all wonder sometimes, why should we accept this constitution made by this assembly more than 50 years ago? We have already noted one reason above. The constitution does not reflect the views of its members alone. It expresses a broad consensus of its time. Many countries of the world have had to rewrite their constitution afresh because the basic rules were not accepted to all major social groups or political parties. In some other countries, the constitution exists as a mere piece of paper. No one actually follows it. The experience of our constitution is different. Over the last half a century, several groups have questioned some provisions of the constitution, but no large social group or political party has ever questioned the legitimacy of the constitution itself. This is an unusual achievement for any constitution. The second reason for accepting the constitution is that the Constituent Assembly represented the people of India. There was no universal adult franchise at that time, so the Constituent Assembly could not have been chosen directly by all the people of India. It was elected mainly by the members of the existing provincial legislatures that we mentioned already. This ensured a fair geographical share of members from all the regions of the country. Finally, the manner in which the Constituent Assembly worked gives sanctity to the Constitution. The Constituent Assembly worked in a systematic, open, and consensual manner. First, some basic principles were decided and agreed upon. Then a drafting committee chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a draft constitution for discussion. Several rounds of thorough discussion took place on the draft constitution, clause by clause, means section by section. More than 2,000 amendments were considered. The members deliberated for 114 days spread over 3 years. Every document presented and every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. These are called Constituent Assembly debates. When printed, these debates are 12 bulky volumes. These debates provide the rationale behind. Rationale means logic. Every provision of the Constitution. These are used to interpret the meaning of the Constitution. Let us begin by understanding the overall philosophy of what our Constitution is all about. We can do this in two ways. We can understand it by reading the views of some of our major leaders on our Constitution, but it is equally important to read what the Constitution says about its own philosophy. This is what the preamble to the Constitution does. Let us turn to these one by one. The Dream and the Promise. Some of you may have noticed a name missing from the sketches of the makers of the Constitution. Mahatma Gandhi. He was not a member of the Constituent Assembly, yet there were many members who followed his vision. Years ago, writing in his magazine Young India in 1931, he had spelled out what he wanted the Constitution to do. According to him, he shall strive for a constitution which will release India from all thraldom and patronage. I shall work for an India in which the poorest shall feel that it is their country, in whose making they have an effective voice. An India in which there shall be no high class and low class of people. An India in which all communities shall live in perfect harmony. There can be no room in such an India for the curse of untouchability or the curse of intoxicating drinks and drugs. Women will enjoy the same rights as men. I shall be satisfied with nothing else. This was his vision for the Indian Constitution. Now let us see what B.R. Ambedkar was thinking of. This dream of an India that has eliminated inequality was shared by Dr. Ambedkar, who played a key role in the making of the Constitution, but he had a different understanding of how inequalities could be removed. According to him, on the 26th of January 1950, we are going to enter a life of contradictions. In politics, we will have equality, and in social and economic life, we will have inequality. In politics, we will be recognizing the principle of one man, one vote, and one vote, one value. In our social and economic life, we shall, by reason of our social and economic structure, continue to deny the principle of one man, one value. How long shall we continue to live this life of contradictions? How long shall we continue to deny equality in our social and economic life? If we continue to deny it for long, we will do so only by putting our political democracy in peril. This was his vision. Finally, let us turn to Jawaharlal Nehru giving his famous speech to the Constituent Assembly at the stroke of midnight on August 15, 1947. What was his vision and what was his wordings? Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny. Tryst means meeting. And now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment comes, which comes but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new. Then he said, the service of India means the service of the millions who suffer. It means the ending of poverty and ignorance and disease and inequality of opportunity. The ambition of the greatest man of our generation has been to wipe every tear from every eye. That may be beyond us, but as long as there are tears and suffering, so long our work will not be over. On this slide, you can read and see the vision of Mahatma Gandhi for the Constitution. Here is the vision of Dr. Ambedkar. He was very prominent member of the Constituent Assembly and known as the father of the Indian Constitution. You can see his vision here. This is the vision of Jawaharlal Nehru for the Indian Constitution. Children, in the textbook, you would be seeing some sort of pictures and the details about them. You will not be studying them. We are not going to ask you any question about that, but only you will study Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar's information, which is given like this. Okay? These are the two questions and answers you will find out in the textbook and you will write them. I can guide you how to go about the first answer. The question is, why should we accept the constitution made by this assembly more than 50 years ago? The one reason is because it was written by the elected representatives called the Constituent Assembly. And then under the heading, why should we accept the constitution made by this assembly, we have given many points. The constitution does not reflect the views of its members alone. It expresses a broad consensus of its time. And then below, if you are going, no large social group or political party has ever questioned the legitimacy of the constitution. Then the Constituent Assembly represented the people of India. There was no then you can write the assembly was dominated by the Indian National Congress. There are many points, and out of that you can write any 5 points. The next question is, state the dreams and vision of Mahatma Gandhi for the Constitution of India. Above there is one slide where I have given you the vision of Mahatma Gandhi with his picture. Okay, in that you would be seeing that an India in which there shall be no high class and low class of people. There are 4-5 things or 3-4 things which you will be clubbing if it is more than 3, and you will make 3 points and you will write. So for today, till here only. See you in the next class. Stay safe. Take care. Thank you.